Hello students, a very warm welcome to all of you in the chapter Life Processes, and this is the last lecture of this chapter, and in this chapter we will discuss about the excretion process, which is the important process to remove the nitrogenous waste material from our body. And in humans we have the excretory system, and this consists of kidney, ureter, bladder, urethra. In the plants, the excretion is done through leaves, resin, gums. They are stored in the cell vacuoles and they release the waste product in the soil. We will discuss all things in detail, that is what is the excretion in human beings and excretion in the plants. So, let us begin the session of today's class. So, excretion is what? That is a biological process. 1 mark question, what is excretion, right? Biological process of removing nitrogenous and other metabolic waste product from the body. Very important, nitrogenous, because in defecation or egestion process we also removing the matter from the body, but that matter is not the nitrogenous matter. Whenever the word is added nitrogenous, it means excretion, right? So, in the definition of excretion, if you are not writing the word nitrogenous, then definitely the teacher like me will not give any mark to you. So, it is very important to write this word. It is the biological process of removing nitrogenous and other metabolic waste from the body is called as excretion. We know that we have two type of organisms, unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. So, in unicellular organism there is no specialized organs for the purpose of excretion. They do this process with the help of the plasma membrane itself, with the help of diffusion directly. So, waste can diffuse directly from the cell surface into the surrounding water, like amoeba. They are having the the waste material inside the body, they are having it in the cytoplasm. So, it has to be expelled with the help of the diffusion only. It has to be removed through diffusion into the external environment. However, the multicellular organism use a specialized excretory organ to remove the nitrogenous waste. And what are that? Basically, like if you are talking about human being, then we have the kidneys. So, see, on the basis of nitrogenous waste material, what are the products? Organisms are basically three types. The organisms which excrete ammonia is called as ammonotelic. They are called as ammonotelic. Which excrete ammonia are called as ammonotelic organisms. The organisms which excrete urea is called as ureotelic organisms. Which excrete uric acid as the waste is called as uricotelic organisms. Here in this diagram, we can see that mostly aquatic animals including many fishes excrete the ammonia. Ammonia required very high amount of water to excrete out from the body. So, mostly aquatic organisms excrete the ammonia and it is known as ammonotelic organism. Examples are fishes. Urea, it require lesser water as compared to this ammonotelic organisms, right? So, mammals, most amphibians, some bony fishes, shark, these are the example. Mammals means include the elephants also, include us also, human beings. So, you can remember one example, human beings are ureotelic organisms and bony fishes also. Fishes are ammonotelic, but these fishes are the cartilaginous fishes are ammonotelic, while bony fishes are ureotelic. Uric acid is excreted by birds, insect, reptile and land snail, and it requires least water for the excretion purpose, right. So, uricotelic organisms, you can write, you can remember the name, right, birds and insect or reptiles. So, on that basis, amino groups like amino acids and nitrogenous bases, nucleic acid, protein, amino acid combine to form the proteins, as similarly nitrogenous bases combine to form the nucleic acids. So all forms the amino groups basically. See here, on the basis of excretory product, we have three type of organisms: a monotelic, ureotelic and uricotelic, and we'll study about the human being excretion majorly in this. So we are the ureotelic organisms, and we have the kidneys to remove the excretory product. Example of excretory organ in animals include kidneys, which filter the waste from the bloodstream in vertebrates. Insect, what the insects use? These are the invertebrates. Important, they use malpighian tubules as the excretory organ. Land snails use a kidney-like organ called nephridium. Very important, kidney-like organ, not the kidney. Snails use nephridia. Snails, earthworm, they use nephridia as excretory organ. They use nephridia. Insects use malpighian tubules. Malpighian tubules. Malpighian tubules is present in the insects for the purpose of excretion. Effectively removing nitrogenous and other toxic waste is important for cellular function and hemostasis. What is hemostasis? To maintain the internal temperature of our body. Blood do the function, blood and hormones do the function of these hemostasis basically. Our internal temperature of the body is the 37 degrees Celsius, right? So it is very important to maintain the hemostasis of our body. It is regulated by hypothalamus of the brain. In both single celled and multicellular organism, it is important to maintain the hemostasis, because if you are not removing the toxic substance from the body, it accumulates inside the blood and definitely it it hampers the hemostasis process. It will result in death also, right? So what are the excretion in the human beings? Basically with the help of the kidney. We'll study about the kidneys. The main component of human excretory system are the kidney, ureter, urinary bladder and urethra. The kidney filters the waste. This is the kidney. This is a bean shaped organ. We have one pair of kidneys or two in number, right and left kidney. And the arteries associated and veins associated with the kidney are the renal artery and renal vein respectively. Kidneys used to form the urine, is used to filter the waste, nitrogenous waste, to form the urine, and this urine with the help of ureter, these are the tube like, passage like, which is again 2 in number, and ureter, through the ureter the urine is stored in a bladder which is 1 in number. Bladder temporarily stores the urine, and the approximately 500 ml of urine is stored, 500 to 800 ml, or you can say 500 to 900 ml of urine is stored at a time, but after 900 it will not possible for us to store more for a seconds even, and then with the help of urethra it goes out of the body. So kidney, ureter, bladder and urethra, these are the 4 parts which constitutes the excretory system of human beings. Kidney filter the waste from the bloodstream to produce urine, and the unit of filtration, the unit of kidney for the filtration is the nephron basically. Nephron is unit of kidney, for the filtration process. If somebody asks what is unit of excretion, then kidney will be the answer. If somebody asks unit of kidney, then nephron will be the answer. Nephron, or you can say another name, nephron or uriniferous tubules. Nephron or uriniferous tubule is the unit of kidney to produce the urine. Each kidney has about 12 million, or we can say they contain millions of nephron which act as a filtration unit. Approximately 12 lakh or 12 million nephron is present in the kidneys, and each nephron consists of a glomerulus and Bowman's capsule which collects the filtrate. If I am talking about the structure of nephron, see, if I draw the diagram of nephron, then it will be like this. This is the Bowman's capsule. These are the coiled tube-like structure. This is another long tube-like structure, and again coiled-like structure. Here, this is a capsule which is known as the cup-like structure. This is known as the Bowman's capsule. This is the Henle's loop. This is distal convoluted tubule. So the diagram will be like this. Here, this is the structure of one nephron. This cup-like structure or a cavity, this is known as Bowman's capsule basically. This is called as Bowman's capsule, and inside it there is a tuft of cavities. There is a bunch of capillaries, and this bunch of capillaries is called as glomerulus basically. This is known as, this bunch of capillaries is called as glomerulus. And this glomerulus and bunch of cavities, this glomerulus and bunch of cavities collectively forms the renal corpuscle. Right? This is the Bowman's capsule, which is a cup shaped cavity, and inside it there is a bunch of capillaries or a tuft of capillaries which is called as glomerulus. Together it is called as Malpighian corpuscle or renal corpuscle. Here the again tube like structure, this is the convoluted tube like structure will be there here. This is known as PCT, proximal convoluted tubule. Here this is a Henle's loop. This is Henle's loop. It absorbs more and more amount of water. This is known as distal convoluted tubule. These are the collecting duct which collects the urine, collecting duct, right? This is the collecting duct. This is the structure of one nephron. Blood enters through the glomerulus, carry the nitrogenous waste material, and then that blood goes to this Bowman's capsule with the help of a pressure, right, which is known as the glomerular pressure. This cavity absorbs most of the you can say that this cavity, this Bowman's capsule goes into this PCT, and PCT absorbs 100% of glucose, and it is absorbed some ions also, some potassium, sodium ions also, and then remaining material goes into the Henle's loop where the ions and water gets absorbed, and then rest of the things goes to the DCT where again the maximum water is absorbed, because it is important to take water from the blood in a more amount, right, to make the composition of the cell will be of the 70% of water. So then the urine starts to collect in the collecting duct, and collecting duct has the urine which is of the composition of approximately pale yellow in color due to the presence of a pigment called as urecobilin. This imparts color to the urine, right? And this urine contains majorly what? That contain water as well as urea. Very important. We have to remove the urea. That is the purpose of excretion only. So urea is removed from the body, and because urine contain, because we are the ureotelic organisms, so we have to excrete the urea. So definitely in urine along with the water, urea will be there. So this is the structure and how the nephron basically functions, right? This is about this one. I hope it is clear now. See, glomerulus and Bowman's capsule, which collects the filtrate. Now this filtrate contains water, salt, glucose and other substances which are selectively reabsorbed back into the bloodstream. So whatever the amount is absorbed in the different tubular part, and rest is formed in the collecting duct, and urine will formed, right. So are reabsorbed and remain in the filtrate to be excreted. The urine travels from each kidney down the ureter, and then finally the urine is formed in the kidneys, reaches into the ureter, right. It reaches into the ureter and then it goes into the urinary bladder. Bladder stores urine temporarily until its expansion causes the urge to urinate, at which point urine exits the body via the urethra. The kidney plays a very important role in removing the nitrogenous waste and to produce the urine for the excretion purpose, right. This is a very famous technique on the patients in which the kidneys do not function properly. They undergoes a process called as hemodialysis, which will be seen in this. So students, we know that kidneys are very important or vital organs for removal of the nitrogenous waste from our body, and this nitrogenous waste is urea in human beings, because we are ureotelic organisms. Clear? So if there is kind of any infection, if there is any injury, if there is not proper functioning of the kidney, so the filtration process which is done by the kidney will hinder, definitely will not occur properly, will result in the accumulation of urea and the toxic substances in the blood. So it is very important to remove the urea from the blood. Actually, for a long term relaxation, we have to do the kidney transplantation process in the patients, but kidney transplantation requires a lot of money. Matching donors will be also available, so there are a lot of factors. So kidney transplantation will be the permanent solution for the kidney damage or renal failure or kidney failure. But if we do not kidney transplant, so we have to do the temporary solution for this, which is known as hemodialysis, right. Hemodialysis, we have to put the patient, depend on the condition of the patient, we have to put in a, in a weekly manner, or in a 10 days, 12 days, 15 days, in a weekly manner, we put the patient on the hemodialyzer machine basically. So it is known as the artificial kidneys, we can say. So what is the mechanism of hemodialysis process basically? See, in this diagram we can clearly see that the blood is pumped into the dialyzer machine with the help of the tubes. So we take the blood from the artery and this blood reaches to the dialyzer. This dialyzer has the dialyzing solution as well as the tubes which in a coiled manner, and these tubes are of the cellulosic tubes basically, right. These tubes are selectively permeable in nature, so it allows we can say that it allows the urea or other toxic substances to get rid of the blood or to remove from the blood. So the blood from the artery reaches to the dialyzer. The urea or the toxic substances is, by the diffusion process, it goes out of the blood in the dialyzer, and it has the dialyzing solution which has the same concentration as that of the blood, like glucose and salts, which has to be go into the blood for the proper functioning. So it has to be pumped from this dialyzing fluid. So dialyzing fluid has the same concentration as that of a normal blood of the glucose and other salts. So it will be passed to, fresh blood will pass to the patient with the help of, through the vein. It passes to the, fresh blood passes from this dialyzing fluid. The blood is passed to the, back to the, fresh blood is passed back to the patient body through the vein. So this dialyzing machine is very important for those patients which has the kidney failure or renal failure basically, right. So such kind of techniques or such kind of technology brings the revolution in the people which is suffering from the renal failure or kidney failure. Now after excretion in human beings, we'll discuss about the excretion in plants. See, plants also evolved with different mechanisms or different excretion strategies compared to animals due to difference in the structure and metabolism. Oxygen produced, we know that oxygen produced as a result of photosynthesis, it has to be removed through the stomata, So one first product of the removal is the oxygen through their leaves and other tissues. Excess water is lost through the process of transpiration from the leaves. So excretory product, like you can say oxygen from the leaves, water through the transpiration from the leaves with the help of stoma itself. We see the bark over here, and some gum or resins are start to remove from the bark. This is also one of the excretory product of the plant basically. Many plant tissues like the xylem contain dead cells that effectively removed as waste, remove waste as they sense and break down. Leaves, flower, fruit act as a disposable organ that carry waste away from the plant as they abscess and fall off. When they mature, when the leaves, flowers, fruits gets mature, it remove from the plant and act as a disposable organ if they carry the waste away from the plant. Waste like resin, gum, pigments are often stored in the xylem. Old leaves and other senescing tissues means the old age. Senescing means old age tissues. Old tissues are stored in the, here we can see that like this, gum has the resin or sticky substance, that is the gum and resin starts to excrete from the bark with the help of the pore like structures that are called as lenticels on the bars. Some substances like salts are also excluded directly from the roots. Some salts, some resins, gum, tannin, all are excreted from the different part of the plant. Here the droplet of the water starts to come in the corner of the, this process is called as guttation basically, that is called as guttation. And this guttation is different from the transpiration. Transpiration is loss of water in the form of vapor, and guttation is what? That is the loss of water in the form of droplet, means in the liquid form only, and it comes in the corner of the leaf like this because they have the end points. The end point of the leaves, they are called as hydatodes. Through these hydatodes, water will removed in the form of droplet, and the process of removing of water in the liquid form is called as guttation. So through these different kind of processes, through these different type of structures, plant remove their waste material from their body. Okay, so this is about the whole processes, different life processes which we'll discussed in this chapter, that is the nutrition, respiration, transportation and excretion. These are the 4 major life processes which is very important for the survival of any living beings. Now I'll give you the whole summary of this chapter with the help of a mind map.